Hello, and welcome to another episode of Simply Cinema. We are your hosts, Maximilian Simonelli.
And Dustin Braga.
All right, so Dustin, today, as we said last week, we were going to take a look at a new film that just came out.
Yes.
A remake, if you will. Sort of a remake, I guess.
A re-adaptation.
Yeah. And that film, ladies and gentlemen, is the new Running Man.
Yes.
Starring Glenn Powell and directed by Edgar Wright.
Yes. The legendary Edgar Wright.
Oh, yes. And we have a trailer here. So, this is an interesting adaptation.
It is. It's supposedly much closer to the novel than the original.
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger film was.
Right.
And that is just to do with the budget and the time that they were able to shoot it. But visually, pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. From a budget standpoint, they obviously had a lot more this time around.
Oh, yes.
You know, which, I don't know. It looked phenomenal. Looked really cool. The story, again, I supposedly it's closer to the book, but I don't know. I'm partial to the original myself.
Right.
You know, it's funny. I feel like the only critiques I have are like so nitpicky.
Yeah.
But they're how I feel. You know. For example, like Glenn Powell, I thought in the beginning it felt like it was like paint by number. Like I have to do this for my family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we're doing this typical thing. Like he's the guy who can do no wrong. He's the best guy. He's trying to make money for his wife and his child, and he has to go on this show. But he's going to unite the people. It was like, okay, this feels very typical.
Yes.
I don't know. What'd you think?
I think this was fine. It's not Edgar Wright's best.
No,
by far. He is very much known for his very stylistic action choices, very snappy editing, very clever writing.
Yeah.
This had not much of that going on.
You mentioned the editing. It's funny because like watching his other films like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Hot Fuzz, even Baby Driver, they had that very like quick editing.
Yeah,
you know, which was like his kind of signature. This one was still edited like in a fast pace, but it didn't have that unique look.
Yeah.
Which, now, I don't know, maybe his other films sort of just, the story, they lend themselves to that type of, maybe I'm just biased because that's how I've seen them. But yeah, this one, if I hadn't known it was Edgar Wright, I wouldn't have instantly guessed it was Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
you know?
It looks very, I don't know, by the numbers, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, that's honestly the best way I can describe this. Is it's very much an action film with some kind of flair.
But you brought up a point of how it was, like, you know what the movie is going into it. It's like, okay, you sit down, turn your brain off, and just have a good time watching
it. Yeah, it's a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
It's
nothing wrong with that.
Don't think about it, just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the original was kind of that too. Like, it ends and you don't really. Let me throw that up there real quick. Yeah. The original with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. And Richard Dawson, which I have to say, I've said this probably so many times now, but I was really hoping that in the new one they would get Steve Harvey to play because Richard Dawson, for those of you who don't know, Richard Dawson was the host of Family Feud back in the day. Yeah. So he was like this beloved kind of like family icon, so to speak. And here he is in this movie playing a TV show host, but he's this like scummy villain and you hate him. So it was a perfect 180. So the equivalent would be if we had Steve Harvey today be in the remake of Running Man as this shady, evil character, Killian. So anyway, I just thought that would have been hilarious if they had done that. But they kind of split it into two people.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin was Killian.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Coleman Domingo.
Yeah, who was like the host, like the personality.
Yes.
Which was, it worked.
It did.
Yeah.
I honestly really enjoyed Coleman Domingo.
Yes.
I thought he just ate up every scene that he was in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he looked like he was having a blast with this.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah. Josh Brolin, I think he definitely plays scummy TV executive.
Yeah, it's funny because like he was a good villain, but this was not one of his best villain. I mean, the guys played Thanos.
Yeah.
And even like Cable started off kind of villainy and then there was a turnaround there, but this was like, okay, this is not your best villain role, Josh.
No.
Again, it's nitpicky, I know, but it's my opinion.
It is what it is. But because I think it's just the fact that this film just doesn't quite reach the heights that it needs to be.
Yes. Well, because again, it's a remake. This is the problem I have with remakes is that, granted, this one The original came out in 87, if I'm not mistaken.
87.
So there has been some time between the original and this one, whereas nowadays so many remakes come out and it's like, already?
Yeah.
They're already remaking this? So
especially Moana.
Yes, oh please. Yeah. It's like so like almost no time passes between the original they don't allow it to go down in history.
Right.
So this one on the other hand, there still was some time.
Yeah.
But it's still gonna get compared to the original.
Oh,
which I think is one of the problems with remakes. Like if it doesn't surpass it, then it gets like, oh, it's
it's whatever.
There's also a remake, not as beloved,
right? I think these are kind of different films.
Oh yes, very.
Yeah, the original was very much very 80s, very cheesy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like again because we didn't exactly read the book, so we can't judge. But I feel like they took the idea from Stephen King.
Yes.
And for the original, and they turned it into a Schwarzenegger action vehicle.
Yeah,
and like you were saying, there were budget constraints, so they had to do what they could. Which it's funny because I'm watching this new one. In this new one, he has to survive 30 days without getting killed by the people or the hunters. Right. Whereas in the original, it was like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute, this is like I'm just trying to connect all the dots and go, okay, it was. We don't have the budget for 30 days.
Yeah.
What if it was 3 hours? Like to be a fly on the wall in the writers' room. What if it was 3 hours? Write that down. Write that down. So, but
they have to really narrow the scope.
Yeah, exactly. And yet, despite that, the original I felt had they made better use of their supporting characters.
They did. They absolutely did. The supporting characters in the newest one
were just kind of there.
Yeah.
For like a scene. They weren't really. It was Glenn Powell's journey.
Yes,
which is fine. But
yeah, it's just the characters kind of come and go. I think the most memorable one of them all would be Michael Cera.
Oh yeah, he was good.
Yeah,
he was good.
Like he was definitely a highlight. He was kind of zany, which
and I'm watching
made him pop.
He was because he was Scott Pilgrim, and it's just funny to watch him like in this like supporting role. Get to do some zaniness again with Edgar Wright as the director. So I was like, okay, that scene I felt had like some familiar chemistry.
Exactly.
And also, I won't give too much away, but there was some of the booby traps that he had around his house. I go, was this a reference to the original with the electricity? I was like, is this supposed to be like a nod to the original? I hope it was. But maybe not. Maybe I'm reaching.
I mean, we do have a little nod to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, so if you didn't see it in the trailer, the money you could win on the show had totally one of Arnold's like governor photos, like in a suit.
Yeah, his face.
Yeah,
plastered on there,
which I like. I go, so he wasn't in the remake.
No,
but they still paid reference to him.
Yeah,
they
gave him a little homage.
Yeah, so there's that, and we were talking about how he initially said he was very supportive of the Running Man remake.
Yeah.
Because he felt like it's time that this movie A gets remade and B has the budget that his film needed.
Yeah, because when they first made it in '87, they had a very short budget, not a lot of time to make it.
Yeah.
So he said a lot of the creative liberties they had to take was because of the constraints that they had.
And that kind of explains some of the set design and and like even the costumes a little bit. Like they look I love a good like 80s film that's trying to look futuristic.
Right.
And it's like it's so funny, like this always happens. It's same thing with the Fantastic Four movie that we reviewed way back when. It was a futuristic look of the 60s.
Exactly.
Kind of paying homage to how this is what people in the 60s thought the future would look like. It's like, well, style has to change, right? It's not going to look like 60s. So anyway, but so this new one looked like even like he's not even wearing the jumpsuit the whole time. Like he wears his regular clothes and he has disguises. There were more elements than just you have to run away from these physically imposing guys with a myriad of weapons.
Yeah, which I guess that does create some good variety with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because we were saying how like they're not called stalkers this time; they're called the hunters. They also they weren't really characters. Not to say that Buzz
except for one.
Except for one. I mean, okay, in the original you had Sub-Zero, you had Buzzsaw, Dynamo, Fireball, Captain Freedom, and their character, so to speak, is largely like their weapon. Like that's what they are. Oh, I have a chainsaw. That's what I use on you. I shoot electricity, whatever. But these guys, like you said, aside from the lead hunter, who they kind of develop his character a little bit in a very, I won't give it away, in a very, I'll say, satisfying way. The other guys were just soldiers. Like, oh, we all wear berets, and have like have armor, like Kevlar. It's like
all right, whatever.
not that interesting.
Not gonna really think about you too much.
No, not really. But again, it also it's like, it's a double-edged sword. It made, I guess, more way for Glenn Powell's story.
It did.
But again, I'm watching it going, he's just like, okay, he's everyday Joe Schmo. It's like, you got, spoiler for the beginning, it's like, oh, he's always stood up for the right thing. Like, he's gone to management and said, I'm not going to do this because this is wrong. Got you fired from 5 jobs.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're really trying to push he's the right man. I don't know. It fell a little flat for me.
It does. It lacks a certain panache.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a short break here.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll have more Running Man.
Indeed we will. Stay tuned. And we're back.
Hey-o.
So, Dustin, we brought up an interesting point, or you did, I should say, that the original, again, being a Schwarzenegger vehicle, it had a number of one-liners.
Oh, it did.
Which, as corny as they are, I kind of miss them in this movie, Especially because in the original, Arnold uses "I'll be back."
Yes.
Which is funny because we were just talking about how that's like his one line that managed to go outside of its original franchise. He used it in Commando. He used it in this movie, which was my favorite because when he says it to Killian, he's like, I'll be back. And Killian quips right back with, only in a rerun. And I'm like, that's awesome. It's the one time someone had something to say back to Arnold. It's like, it cracks me up every time. It's so good. But yeah, so in this one, I go, I don't know. Would I have liked Glenn Powell using one-liners as Arnold? Not as much. Probably not.
I think it's just the charm of it because the film already inherently is pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
So the one-liners is just kind of the cherry on top.
Exactly.
Yeah. As opposed to this version of The Running Man where it would just feel kind of out of place.
It would.
Yeah.
And they also, again, because I'm harping on Glenn, on the writing of Ben Richards in this film. Just like they try to build him up as, he's worked so many dangerous jobs that he is actually the perfect contestant for this show. Right. They even did like a montage of like the training of like, you have to fill these prerequisites in order to be on the show. So it's like, he worked a scaffolding job. That's how he's ready for this. Oh, he had to run away from this in the nick of time. That's how he's ready for this. And it's like, okay, we get it. Like, he's the right guy for the show.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just as a character, he wasn't very interesting.
Yeah.
It felt more like it was, again, like paint by number. You just fill in the box.
Right. Maybe that has to do with the original source material.
Possibly. So let's bring up that image here. So the original book, The Running Man by Stephen King, which I love at the bottom, it says, with an introduction by the author, the importance of being Bachman. So he wrote this under the pen name Richard Bachman.
Yes, he did.
Which I find very interesting. It's because for the longest time, I did not know that this was a Stephen King story.
Exactly. Yeah, he wrote several novels. I think at this point, when he did The Running Man, it was like 4 novels as Richard Bachman. Reason being, obviously, he's best known for his horror stories.
Okay, so he had written Carrie by this point, I believe.
Yes.
Under his real name?
Under his real name. But he does the sci-fi kind of drama, not quite horror films under Richard Bachman. Okay. So that way they could possibly sell.
Interesting.
But by the time The Running Man came out, it had already been found out that it is actually Stephen King.
Yeah. Because again, when I found out that it was, I'm like, how is this movie? Because again, you think, they just took the book and made it into a film. I go, how is this movie? And then I thought, okay, I guess they changed it a little bit. I could see how this could be a really scary movie.
Yeah.
The funny thing is how I'm watching it, the original that is, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is like the Hunger Games and the Maze Runner before those even existed.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like, okay, one character has to go in and survive being killed. And it's for the entertainment of the rest of the country. Sort of a critique on how we're just, all we want is violence. They love sports and violence, so we give them what they want.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's a critique on that.
Yeah, it's a kind of a critique on society.
Yeah.
And just government overreach a little bit.
Yes, and this one, it felt, I think, again, because we didn't live through the 80s, so we don't, we don't know. Because maybe the first one was accurate, and we just don't know how accurate it was.
Right.
But this one felt much more realistic, and some of the conspiracy theorists in the film, or some of the low level, like people who try to survive, live day to day, I felt like these people could really exist.
They could.
And do what they do. So in a way, I liked it because it felt more realistic, but it also felt that much more bleak. Because I go, ooh, like, we're not at this level yet, but I go, it could happen. It's not as like campy or as flashy as the original. I was like, I could see this being a thing.
Yeah, especially with like deep fakes and
yes,
even AI now.
Oh yeah,
you can pretty much manufacture whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Plug in any clip with deep learning AI.
Yeah,
and it can just plug out whatever you choose. So this is definitely something that could potentially happen.
That's true. And we were talking earlier about how the film felt like it was kind of rushed at times.
Bit, yeah.
Because there were a few, without giving too much away, there were a few, I'll say, plot points that I thought were going to be followed up.
Okay.
And they weren't. With a couple of characters here and there, or like they were going to, they're going to go this way with it, which I guess, subverted my expectations.
Yeah.
But it was like, so that actually was the ending of this plot point.
Yeah.
Thought there was going to be more.
Yeah.
So, it's all nitpicky.
Yeah. It doesn't have a lot of substance going on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just,
It's like, we keep on reiterating this point of just, it's very paint by the numbers.
Yeah. And it's just supposed to be like, this is a fun movie. You watch it to have a good time, not to be like, this was so profound.
Yeah.
And so thought-provoking.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of nuance to these characters.
Nuances.
It's avant-garde.
Avant-garde.
Yeah. Could you imagine The Running Man as an avant-garde, like, art house film?
What does it mean to run?
Maybe we're all the runners.
Maybe we're all the runners.
Yeah. And the contestants are the real people.
That's it's funny because as I was quoting earlier, like the original kind of ends with, I love when a villain goes on this like monologue of their mindset or their philosophy.
Yeah.
And we as the audience go, okay, it's not right. Like their actions are not right, but their thought process is not wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's what was lacking in this version's Killian. In the original, he kind of ends with saying that, like, well, that's what the people want, is they want sports and violence. And it's like, well, we'd have to cater to what they want. So it's like, it makes you think about, we are the problem.
Yeah.
This new one, I don't know. It just made me think, like, I supported Richards the whole time. I go, brother, this guy stinks.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Like he's a truly awful guy.
Yeah.
Like, right from the beginning.
Right.
They're like, well, you're kind of a jerk.
Yeah. He didn't have that moment of like, you know what? You're still the villain, but I see. If anything, the main hunter had that moment of like, okay, you are still the villain, but without giving it away, I see where you're coming from. Because they developed him a little bit more.
They did.
So I guess they kind of just, they gave that development to the main hunter instead of Killian.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But as always, go see it. Give your own, judge it for yourself. Some people might like it. Some people might not like it. But I still am partial to the original.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I don't know. I think both can exist in their own way.
Do a double bill.
Just
for the hell of it and see.
Ooh, watch them back to back.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Actually, it would almost be worth seeing the new one again just to do that.
Yeah. Just immediately watch Arnold and then go right into Glenn.
Yep.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's take one more break.
Sure thing.
We'll come right back and we'll tease what we're doing for next week.
The suspense is terrible.
Ooh.
I hope it'll last. Welcome back. So before we leave you, we thought we'd tee up our review, our next week's review of a new release that has just come out, hence new release. That was redundant.
Wow.
And that film, ladies and gentlemen, is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
I am very excited for this.
Oh, yes. It's funny because without going into too much detail, Oscar Isaac was a fan casting to play Dr. Frankenstein way back in the day, and it finally came to pass.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful. It's directed by Guillermo del Toro, who also did The Shape of Water, which was kind of a retelling of Creature from the Black Lagoon in a different way.
Kind of, sort of.
And it won Best Picture, which I still am amazed at. I mean, it was a good movie, but I was like, wow, okay, we're going full tilt with this.
Right.
Yeah. But this film, it looks great. It's interesting because now we're having like a resurgence of monster films. We had Nosferatu came out. There's this Frankenstein, and then next year Maggie Gyllenhaal is coming out with a movie called The Bride, where Christian Bale plays the Frankenstein monster. So it's Frankenstein's time.
It's Frankenstein time.
Yeah. So yeah, this one it has like great production value, and it looks like it has the budget it needs. And it's funny because it's one of those films kind of like James Bond or Tarzan, where there's like 50 films of this. It's not like as we just talked about The Running Man, and it's like, okay, this is a remake of an existing film and a book.
Right.
And that's it. With Frankenstein, it's like there are at least 50 movies like this.
There are tons of iterations.
Yeah.
Which we will talk about some.
Yeah. And yeah. We might need an hour to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because it's Anyway, so that's what we'll be doing next week.
Yes.
And we look forward to it.
Yeah.
And because I love monster movies, and we'll be talking all day. But I feel bad, Justin. I want to apologize to you in advance because it'll just be like,
it's going to be your show. I'm going to have like three lines throughout the entire thing. I'm going to go like, yep, okay, yeah, sure.
Justin, what'd you think? Well, and another thing, it was about
actually.
So we look forward to that next week. Again, thank you for tuning in. Go see The Running Man. Form your own opinion.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good popcorn movie.
It is.
Like if you want to just be entertained for a couple hours.
Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, and then go watch Frankenstein,
and then go watch it. It's on Netflix, so you don't have an excuse to not go out.
It's true.
Yeah,
very true.
You just stay on your couch,
as I did.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next week. Watch movies.
Take it easy.
Bye.